I'd like you guys to welcome two-time Paralympic silver medalist, Paralympian, and double American world record holder and CPAC alum, Ali Truwit.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here tonight, and also so happy to have the opportunity to give back to a program and a coach who have given so much to me. I'm going to share a bit about my story, and my hope is that by doing that, you'll all leave thinking a bit more about three really important things that I've learned a lot more about since that day in the ocean: perseverance, trusting the process, and the power of a positive mindset. So I'm going to start where it all began, almost 2 years ago, May 24th, 2023. Life was really, really good. I had just graduated from Yale, where I was on the Yale women's swim and dive team. I had a post-grad job lined up. I was going to spend several weeks traveling with my friends until moving into New York City at the end of the summer. I had just run my first marathon, and I was in a tropical paradise with my best friend and former Yale swim team captain. I was on top of the world. But in an instant, my whole world was shattered. All of my carefully laid plans were over, and it wasn't even clear if I was going to survive. I'm pretty sure that no one in this room, other than me, has been attacked by a shark. But I'm also pretty sure that everyone in this room has gone through a hard time. A disappointing season, a bad race, injury, illness, loss of a loved one, times when things felt frustrating or upsetting, or maybe even just a little hopeless. A little hopeless, probably more like a lot hopeless, is how I felt when I lost my foot and part of my leg in the shark attack. But what I learned that day, after fighting the shark and racing 75 yards back to the boat, footless and bleeding with the shark in pursuit, is that we are all stronger than we think. If you had told me that someday I'd need to battle a shark, swim for my life, have an amputation, and learn life with a prosthetic leg, I would have said, I can't. And if you had next told me that I would work to physically and emotionally recover from the attack and amputation and train with Jamie to try and make the Paris Paralympics all within a year, I would have said, I definitely can't. And then if you would have told me that in order to medal at the Paralympics, I would need to swim the times that I had swum to get recruited to swim Division I at Yale with 2 legs, except this time with only 1 leg, I would have said I for sure can't. And there were many, many times over the past year and a half where I had to work to battle that I can't and replace it with, what if I can? What if I could? Because as it turns out, I can. We all can, if we can open our minds up to the possibility. If we can work to get back up after things don't go our way, and if we can treat the journey to our goals as the real reward in itself. For me, I can because my ability to fight a shark, to save myself in the ocean, to make and medal at the Paralympics a year later, boils down to work. Mental work and physical work, and lots of it. Working to believe and prove to ourselves that we can persevere through fatigue, injury, illness, bad races, or tough practices, that's key. Working to trust the process, to believe that setbacks are temporary and that hard work will ultimately get us where we want to go, that's permanent. And the good news is, we can all work hard, no matter the circumstance. 1 leg or 2, hard work is something that's within our control when so many other things aren't. And that work is a gift. It's brought me some of the best and most loyal teammates and coaches I could have ever asked for. It's taught me life skills that saved me in an emergency situation. It's given me strength, confidence, joy, resilience, and toughness. It's taught me to not be so afraid of failure because I know that I can work hard and get right back up. And it helps calm me in those high performance, high pressure moments like regionals, sectionals, nationals, college recruiting, or the Paralympics. Being able to look back on and trust in all of the hard work I did is game-changing when I step up behind the blocks. So in closing, I hope I've left you all with what I know to be true. That work works, and that if we do the work, sooner or later, we will become stronger, faster, better than we could have ever imagined. And secondly, that if you're lucky enough to be in the wildly capable hands of a coach who can take someone who was attacked by a shark and lost her leg and turn her into a 2-time Paralympic swimming silver medalist in just a year, then all that's left for you to do after working hard is to trust the process. Thank you. He imagines it, but he also knows it, because every night leading up to Paris, we would sit and have talks about how much pressure I was feeling from everyone I didn't even know. But it's a great question, and you're right. For me, I had to go from, mostly only feeling internal pressure of things that I had worked for and that I wanted when I got into those meets, to this world where I had people watching me in places I didn't know and on TV and in newspapers, and I felt a lot of pressure from it. And I think for me, 2 things that really helped me. The first is that I focused on what I could control. And so I talked a lot about hard work, and that's why I talk so much about the work. Because for me, the work is something that I can control. I can't control the pressure that I feel from friends and family watching, from the media, from whatever's said out there. But what I can control is how hard I work every day in practice and how much confidence that can give me in the fact that I'm going to be able to put together a good race when I need to. The second thing I really focus on to help me kind of combat those nerves is my why. Why am I doing this? Why do I care that I really want to swim well right now? So for me, I had a lot of whys. One was that I really wanted to show myself and other people that we can go through bad, hard, sad things, and we can come out the other side and rise and do great things. I also had come into the space of the disability world, and I really wanted to be an advocate and to show what people with disabilities are capable of. And I felt grateful that I was able to represent my country and thank all of these American heroes who had saved my life. And so I wanted to race really well to say thank you to all of those people. And so, drawing back on that work and those whys, what really helped me get through a lot of pressure at the Paralympics.
All right. Anybody else got a question they want to ask? All right. Yes.
What's next?
The question's what's next? Can't wait to hear.
I have a few things in the works. So I sold my book, so I'll spend the next year writing a book. I have a documentary coming out this summer. Thank you. My mom and I ran a marathon 10 days before the attack, and I just signed up for the New York City Marathon this fall to run with her. Thank you. Continuing to do a lot of public speaking. I find it really healing, and I also am able to take my speaking fees and put it into probably the biggest thing I'm focused on right now, which is the charity that I started. It's called Stronger Than You Think. And it supports water safety, the Paralympic movement, and funding for prosthetics for young women and girls. So I'm really focused on growing that, having as much impact as I can with that. And if anyone here wants to take part in helping me do that, on Saturday there's a swim-a-thon, and we're fundraising for Stronger Than You Think. It's 4 to 6 p.m. at Chelsea Piers if you feel like getting in the water, signing up, and coming out to support.
Anybody got anything else? Oh, in that, yes.
What was the time you needed to get to the Paralympics?
So basically, to qualify for the Paralympics, you have to be top 3 in the world or pretty close to it. So you could end up being first at trials, but if you're not close enough to top 3 in the world for your classification, then you don't qualify. So I swam a 1:08 100 backstroke long course, and I swam a 4:34, something like 4:34 400 meter freestyle.
As her coach, the thing that blew me away was that 100 backstroke time was actually faster than she had been prior to the accident. So like, that's what I'm geeking out on, right? Like, oh my God, that didn't even happen. I was completely amazed. Yes, that's the question I've been waiting for. The question was, are you going to do the Paralympics in LA?
If Jamie will coach me.
What's your favorite event?
The question is, what's your favorite event?
I like the 400 freestyle. Yeah, I've always been a distance swimmer, and I feel like it's not too long, but it's still long enough that you have some strategy and your work comes into play.
I see one other hand. Let's do one more question. Yes.
I just said I don't sprint well.
The question was, what's your 50 free time?
I don't even know. 20?
28?
20, yeah.
28, 27?
Good question.
You know what? We don't know because we literally did not swim. I'm going to say you took your 100 free out in 28 something. So 28 to the foot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your 50 free time? 29. Well, you got beat by her, dog. Get back to work. Another one down in front. This will be the last one. Go ahead. How old were you when you started swimming?
I was really young when I started swimming. I have 3 brothers, and my mom had a bunch of little ones, and she wanted to make sure that we were safe around the water. So I was probably like 3 or 4 when I first got in the pool and started swimming. And then I started competitive swimming at 7 years old because I loved the water and I had so much fun with it.